Okay, we are going to start with the next one, calyx. Now the calyx is the outermost whorl of the flower. Already we have studied. It is also coming under accessory whorl. Now it is the outermost whorl of a flower. Okay, out of 4 whorls, it is the outermost whorl. Now this whorl, calyx, protects the flower in the bud condition. Always flowers are developing from the bud. Bud is a tiny one, a small, more or less a spherical or oval shaped structure. If you observe the bud, it will be green in color because all the sepals are covering that. All the sepals join together form calyx. The calyx is covering all the internal parts of the flower in bud condition. That only protects the flower in bud condition. Each unit is called a sepal. The calyx is made up of small units. Maybe 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. Each unit is called a sepal. Sepals are normally green. Generally, if you take in many plants, many flowers, the sepals will be green in color. Okay, this also we have studied. Calyx is green in color. It is a small cup-like structure found at the base of the flower. That all these are the characters. Now we are going to see the next one, fusion of sepals in the calyx. So in the calyx, imagine that 5 sepals are there. Whether the sepals are free from each other or they are fused at the margin, that we have to say, that is called a fusion of sepals in the calyx. Based on that, 2 things will be there. Apocephalous. See that? Apocephalous. No, don't pronounce it as sepalous. Apocephalous. The alternative term for this is polycephalous. One more term also there. That is corycephalous. Okay, apocephalous, polycephalous, corycephalous, all are same. That means in this particular one, the sepals are free from each other. 5 sepals means all the 5 lobes are free from each other. That is the apocephalous. Free sepals, you can see that. Now this is the calyx, what I have drawn. Okay, in that 5 lobes are there. Each lobe is called a sepal. Okay, 5 sepals are there. Now the 5 sepals are independently present, margins, everything is free. This is called free sepals, polycephalous. See that? Polycephalous is also called what? Apocephalous, corycephalous. The second type of fusion, if you take, syncephalous, S-Y-N, syn means fusion. The next term for this is gamocephalous, gamo also fused, gamocephalous. Fused sepals. Now in these are 2 terms, only 2 terms are there, but here 3 terms. Now syn means fused, gamo also fused. That means the sepals are fused with each other at their margin. Assume that this is one sepal. Now another one sepal is there. Margin to margin they are fused. That is called the fused sepals. I have taken here the same calyx like that. Now here this is the calyx. 5 sepals are there. According to this diagram, 5. It may be 4, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 like that. So 5 sepals are there. Margins and all they are fused, forming a cup-like structure. Only at the tip they are free. Only at the tip, little portion will be free. The rest of the regions and all in the margin all are fused. So margins are fused in these sepals. That is called fused sepals, gamocephalous. I told gamo or syn, both are same, fused. Gamocephalous. Now we are coming to the duration of calyx. Okay, the bud is there. During bud condition, the calyx is protecting all the inner parts of the flower. Okay, after a period of time, in proper season, during temperature is a normal everything, the bud is opening into a flower. The flower is opened very well. After the flower is opened, how long the calyx is living with the flower? You have to say. How long? That is called the duration of the calyx. Now we will take Caducus fugaceus. Okay, fugaceus. Caducus or fugaceus. What is the meaning of this Caducus? Now itself I will tell you. In this Caducus calyx, withers. That means it will shrink. That is called a withers and fall off. It will shrink and quickly it is falling. All the sepals are falling. The calyxes fall off. Before blossoming, before the flower is opening into a complete flower, the calyx alone withers, shrinks and then fall off immediately. So when the flower is completely opened, you can't find the calyx at all because it's already fallen down. Now in the flower, corolla is there, androecium and gynoecium will be present. Calyx will not be there. So before the flower is completely opened out, the calyx will fall off. That is called a caducous or fugaceous calyx. The second one is deciduous. Deciduous. What is the meaning of deciduous? We have to say deciduous calyx. The calyx fall off after the flower opened. Okay. The bud condition is there. Calyx is present, closing the floral parts in the bud condition. Now the bud is opening into flower. Okay, all the four whorls are coming out very well. Blossom is over. Now up to that the calyx will be there. Once the flower is completely opened, after that only the calyx will fall off. It will wither and fall off. That type of one is called deciduous. What is the difference between caducous and deciduous? Caducus means calyx fall off before the flower is blossoming. Deciduous means the calyx fall off after the flower opens. That is the difference. Next one is persistent. What is the meaning of persistent? Now this is a common term. Persistent means continuously present. That is called a persistent. Continuously existing. That is the meaning for persistent. Now what is that persistent calyx? We have to see. The calyx is attached with the fruit. Now the flower bud condition, sepal cell calyx is there. Now the blossoming is over, the flower is open. Now calyx will be present. Then the flower will be developing into fruit. When the fruit is developed, all petals will fall off, all stamens will fall off. Even in the ovary only develop into fruit. Style, stigma, everything will fall off, but calyx will never fall off. The calyx is permanently existing along with the fruit. That is called a persistent calyx. The calyx is attached with the fruit. The best example you can see, brinjal, the vegetable. If you see the brinjal, the fruit, which will be slightly circular and oval shaped, okay, but on the stalk will be there. Along with that, 5 green finger-like projections are attached with the fruit. They are nothing but persistent calyx. They are attached. They will never fall off. That is called persistent. Attached with the fruit and never fall off. The calyx will never fall off. Then another one is accrescent. Accrescent calyx. What is the meaning of accrescent calyx? The persistent calyx. Here also the calyx is firmly attached with the fruit. Persistent calyx enclose the fruit partially or completely. Either it is covering the fruit partially like brinjal, or it is covering the fruit completely. You can't see the fruit, only calyx will be present. If you remove the calyx only, we can see the fruit. That is called completely covered. So if the calyx is permanently present along with the fruit and it is enclosing the fruit either partially or completely, then it is called accrescent. Now we are coming to the shape of the calyx. The whole calyx, sepals are there. All the sepals join together from the calyx. That is the outermost wall. What are the various shapes will be present? We have to see. Now the first one is campanulate. The first type of calyx is called campanulate. Here itself I will tell you that is bell shape. The whole of the calyx you are taking, all other parts you are removing. But the calyx if you take, it is like a bell shape. That is called a bell shape. The picture will come later, you can understand with that. Example, hibiscus. In the hibiscus, the calyx alone, the green small cup-like structure what is present is giving appearance like a bell. So bell shaped hibiscus. Okay. Then the second one is urceolate. U-R-C-E-O. Urceolate. Okay. It is urn shaped. U-R-N. Urn is otherwise called a pot. Okay, that is in the clay. They are making pot, is it not? The pot is also called a urn. Urn shape, that means pot shaped. Example, that is, you know very well, pot. At the bottom, it will be somewhat curved and but that is what more or less spherical. Then after that, a narrow neck and the wide mouth will be present. Like that, the calyx will be present, like a pot. That is Withania is the best example for that. Tubular. Now in that name itself we can understand. The calyx is giving appearance like a tube-like, okay, long cylindrical tube-like, it will be present. Example, datura. Then two-lipped. That means the calyx is having the shape like lips in the mouth. Now the mouth we have upper lip, lower lip. Like that how the two lips are there, no? Like that it is giving appearance. two lips like structure. The calyx is having two lip like structure. Example, ocimum. Okay, example, ocimum. Apart from these four types, that is bell shaped, urn shaped, tube like, and a two lip like, we are going to see another one character. It is a character, not shape actually. Petaloid calyx. Okay, what is the meaning of petaloid? It is something peculiar. Now, petaloid means, the term itself we can understand. Petaloid looks like petals. That is called a petaloid, giving appearance like a petal. Already we have studied petals are beautifully colored other than green. They may be pink in color or red in color, yellow, white, so many other colors will be there. That is called a petaloid. The sepals are normally green in color. Normally sepals are green in color. That is, calyx is green. But sometimes the calyx, in the calyx, sepals are not green in color, but they are having other beautiful colors. Maybe red, maybe pink, like petals. That is called a petaloid calyx. Calyx is colored like petals. Example, Saraka. S-A-R-A-C-C-A, Saraka. The next one, special character you are going to study, pappus. Pappus means any spongy hair-like structure is called pappus. So, hairy calyx. The calyx is a hairy. That means the calyx will not have broad green flattened sepals. Okay, they are all modified into hair-like structures. Example, tridacts. Now, these are the two flowers of tridacts. Okay, now this is a disc floret. This is the ray floret. So, two types of flowers. Head inflorescence we have studied. Disc floret and ray floret. In the disc floret here, if you take one flower, it is single flower. Okay, here the calyx is present, but the calyx is modified into enormous number of hair-like structures. Similarly, in the ray floret also, at the bottom calyx is there, but the sepals are completely modified into hair-like structures. Now, these two are called a hairy calyx. Okay, hairy calyx, pappus, hairy calyx. Example, tridacts. Now, calyx is over. Characteristic features of calyx. Now, we are going to study about corolla. Okay, we are going to study about corolla. Corolla is the second inner whorl. It is made up of petals. The petals are beautifully colored. That only we are going to see. It is a second inner whorl. It is made up of petals. The petals number may be anything. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or even 10, 15, 20, 30 like that. Brightly colored. The petals are brightly colored. I already told you different colors will be there. Attractive colors. Brightly colored. Why the petals are brightly colored? To attract the insects for pollination. So, the beautiful color of the petals attract the insects to come to the flower. So, at the time when the insects are coming to collect the nectar, they are also bringing pollen grains from the other flower for pollination. Transfer of pollen grains is called a pollination. Okay, that is the general characters. Now, fusion of petals. Now, here also we have to study whether the petals are fusing at their margin or they are free. That is called a fusion of petals. Just like for sepals in the calyx, we are going to see. Apopetalous, same term we have studied. There we have studied apocephalous, but here apopetalous, polypetalous, corypetalous, same term. Apo, poly, cory. But actually, poly means many. One meaning is the direct meaning for this poly in English. But one more term in botany we can find. Poly means few, that is free. Okay, poly means not many, free. Okay, in the apopetalous, petals are free from each other. Polypetalous, same thing. Poly means free, petals are free. Cory also means free, petals are free. So, free petals. Example, hibiscus. If you take a hibiscus, all the red color petals will be separated. Okay, we can easily separate. They are not fusing with each other. That is called a hibiscus. That is apopetalous. Opposite of it, sympatalous. The same term we have studied. There symcephalous, but here sympatalous. The next term is gamopetalous. S-Y-M, sym, fused. Gamo, fused. Okay, the petals are fused. That is called. So, fused petals. Example, datura. Okay. Now, we are going to see apopetalous. I already told you what is the meaning of apopetalous. Apo means free. Petal means petals in the corolla. the petals of corolla are free from each other, that is apopetalous. Actinomorphic, already we have studied radial symmetry, actinomorphic, the three pictures we have shown. One, all the petals are arranged in proper way in the form of a circle. So if you cut the flower through the center in any angle, in any direction, we will get two equal half. That is called the actinomorphic. Okay, radial symmetry. Corolla, that is apopetalous corolla, that means petals are free. Actinomorphic corolla, all the petals are similar in size and also they are arranged in the form of a proper circle. That is radial symmetry. Okay, in that we are going to see types of apopetalous actinomorphic corolla. What are they? First one is cruciform. C-R-U-C-I, cruciform. Now what is the meaning of this cruciform? Okay, now this word crucify or crucifer is the term which is present in Bible. That is the cross, they are telling that, the cross symbol is there, that is cruciform means it is in the form of a plus mark. Okay, that is called. 4 petals are present. It is fixed number in the corolla. Only 4 petals are present. They are free. They are not fused. They are free. 4 free petals arranged like a cross. Arranged like a cross. The cross very often we are using. That is in Christianity. That is the cross. They will put it. That is also that wooden cross will be there, where the Jesus is crucified. Now that is called a cross, like that. That means plus like. Now example, brassica. Now you take this, 4 petals are there in the corolla, all are free from each other. Now you see that 2 are arranged horizontally and 2 are arranged vertically, appearance like the cross, crucifer. That is called a cruciform. Okay, this is the first one. Second one is caryophyllaceous. Caryo, C-A-R-Y-O, caryophyllaceous. What is the meaning of caryophyllaceous? 5 free petals will be there in these flowers, in the corolla. 5 free petals will be present. Next one is claw and limb. Claw and limbs. Okay, we have to know what is claw and what is a limb. I am taking one petal. Say in that petal, one portion of the petal will be very broad. Okay, it will be very, very broad in nature. Okay, it will be projecting out. This broad portion of the petal is called a limb, L-I-M-B. Then the bottom of the petal, if you take, it may be long or short, but it will be very, very narrow region. This part only will be attached with the thalamus. So this narrow bottom portion of the petal is called a claw. The narrow bottom portion of the petal is called a claw. So claw is the bottom part, limb is the upper broad portion. Okay, petal of dianthus. Now here you can see what actually this we have to see. So the 5 pre-petals are there. The claw and the limbs are at right angle. Now they folded. Now the claw is a horizontally, limb is a vertical, both more or less like at right angle to each other. It is folded like this. That is called at right angle. They are arranged at right angle. Example, dianthus. Okay. Then the next one is rosaceous. Rosaceous corolla. What is that rosaceous corolla? We have to see. 5 petals to many free petals are there. 5 to many. For example, rose is the best example. Now the picture is also given. Now in that rose, if you take the petals, enormous number of petals will be there. 40, 50, 60 petals will be present. Enormous. 5 to many free, many. Free petals, if you remove one by one, they are coming off. They are not fusing with the other petals. 5 to many free petals are there. Clawed petals. What is the meaning of clawed petals? They have claw. They have claw. Clawed petals with radiating limbs. What is the meaning of radiating limbs? Now the claw and the limb will not be at right angle, but they are present in slanting position, radiating, so that the petals are arranged circle after circle. Okay, this arrangement is called radiating. The limbs are not vertically erect, the limbs are in a slanting position. That is called. Example, rose. So 5 to many clawed petals with the radiating limbs. Now we are coming to apopetalous. Once again I am telling, Apo means free. Petals are free in the corolla. Zygomorphic. Now in the zygomorphic flower, if you take, the flower we can cut through the center in one particular angle, we will get two equal half. For example, this is the flower, I am cutting in this way, only one direction. We will get two equal half, this half, this half. Here one, here also one. So two equal. Suppose I am changing the sectioning, you will not get two equal half. But in the first one, actinomorphic, it is not like that. Any angle you can cut through the center, you will get two equal half. But here you cannot get two equal half. Only in one particular direction we will get two equal half. That is called a zygomorphic corolla. Now in the zygomorphic corolla, we are going to study about papilionaceous corolla is the best example for this. What is the meaning of papilionaceous? Now see that papilionaceous, but we have to pronounce it as papilionaceous. Papilionaceous means butterfly. The corolla is giving appearance like a butterfly. That is called a butterfly shaped corolla. The best example is Clitoria, the flower if you take. Now this is a hanging. Now if you take this corolla, it is giving appearance like the wings of butterfly. This is the body of the butterfly and wings of butterfly. Even the horizontal view, if you take it, the body of the butterfly and wings of butterfly like. So it is butterfly shaped corolla. That is called a papilionaceous corolla, butterfly shaped corolla. One large posterior petal. Now anyway, when we take about a flower, we have to take the floral diagram, okay, that we will teach in the class, I said. Now in the flower, when we take the section and when we are separating the floral parts and all, for us the anterior, the upper part is posterior to the flower. The upper side is the posterior to the flower. The lower side is anterior to the flower. So upper side is posterior, lower side is anterior. Now you come to this point. One large posterior petal, it is called a vexillum. Now the posterior means the upper side. Here one large petal is there, very large petal. This a large petal is posterior and it is also called a vexillum. It is also called a vexillum. Two lateral wing petals. Now two sides, two petals are there at the sides. They are giving appearance like the wings of birds. Wings of birds. So they are called wing petals. The wing petals are also called alae. Okay, that is, they are also called alae. And the two anterior petals. Anterior means bottom side here. Two anterior petals are present. They are very small, they are reduced in size, they are called carina. Okay, they are called carina. So, posterior large petal is there called vexillum. Lateral two petals are present, they are like wings called alae. And anterior two small petals will be there, they are called carina. Now the arrangement of petals, okay, now we are separated and kept all the five, but if they are all present together, the corolla is giving appearance like a butterfly, that is called the papilionaceous corolla. Now we are coming to sympetalis, S-Y-M. Sym means fused. The petals are fused at their margin, okay, sympetalis. Actinomorphic, already I told you all the petals are similar in shape, size, so that when they are arranged, we can cut the flower through the center in any direction, we will get two equal half, radial symmetry. What is it? Sympetalis, that is fused margins of the petals. Actinomorphic, that is radial symmetry, petals, that is fused petals, you can see that, fused. What are the different types of sympetalis, actinomorphic, corolla are present? We have to see. Now the first one is tubular. The corolla is giving appearance like a tube. Okay, they are giving appearance like a tube. Now narrow and tube-like structure, the corolla alone will be giving appearance like a tube, narrow and the tube. Limbs are short. Now already I told you, claw is the bottom part, limb is the broadened part. But here the limbs are shorter, they are not very long, they are short. Example, disc floret. Already we have studied in the head or capitulum, inflorescence. Ray florets and disc florets are there, you know. In the disc florets, I am giving example here, the same thing for Tridax. Disc floret. Now this is the corolla, you can see that. but internally some parts will be present. Okay, now here the calyx we are not taking, only the corolla. The corolla is a long and a tube-like structure, that is called a tubular corolla. Campanulate, already we have studied for calyx. Campanulate, campanulate means bell shape. Now see this flower. Okay, now in this flower, one corolla, if you take only corolla, it is giving appearance like the bell. For puja and all we are using bell, so like that bell shape, that is called a bell shaped corolla. Campanulate, bell shape. Example, physalis, this is the plant physalis. Next one is infundibuliform. Infundibuliform. Okay, infundibulum means funnel shape. Infundibuliform, funnel shaped corolla. The corolla is giving appearance like a funnel. One end is broad, okay, it is widened, but other end is very, very narrow, that is called. So funnel shaped, tube gradually widens into limbs. The tube. Now see that, we are coming to this. Now this is the claw. Okay, the claws are completely very narrow, but the petals, the limbs are there, they are opened like a funnel. The whole appearance is giving up like a funnel, a glass funnel. That is called a funnel shaped corolla. Infundibuliform corolla. Funnel shaped, tube gradually widens into limbs. Now 3-1. This is tubular corolla. This is bell shaped corolla. This is funnel shaped corolla. Now we are coming to the fourth one. 3 completed, fourth one. Rotate. What is the meaning of rotate? The corolla is wheel shaped. The wheel. Okay, for any type of vehicles, the wheel is there, like that wheel shaped corolla. Now I am taking here the wheel shaped. Now here the petals, corolla. Okay, the whole is called a corolla. These are the petals. Margins are fused. Only the tip is free. Now if you take this, they are arranged like the wheel. Okay, which can rotate. Okay, like that, wheel shaped. Okay, short tube and spreading circular limbs. The tube will be at the bottom, short tube is there, but the petals are spreading out. They are moving out in a particular angle. That is called a short tube spreading circular limbs. The broad portion is the limb, it is a circular, they are arranged and they are spreading out. Example, brinjal. Now this is the brinjal. Then salwar shaped one, salwar shaped corolla. Salwar. Another one is, another term is there, hypocrateriform. Hypocrateriform. Okay, it is another name for this. Now it is the same like rotate. Okay, the lower portion is a long tube-like structure. Petals are also spreading out. But one thing is a very, very simple, and it is different from this. They are not arranged in a circular, same like rotate, but the limbs are not circular. Here limbs are circular, here the limbs are not arranged circular, they are zigzag. Okay, the arrangement is zigzag. You can see that zigzag arrangement of the petal, the limbs will be present. That is called a salwar shaped or hypocrateriform. Then urceolate. The next one is urceolate. Once again I am using the term urn shaped. I already told you, urn, urn. Urn means pot, pot shape. Example, bryophyllum. Now you see that this is the claw. Okay, but the limbs, all the limbs are fused together and they are giving appearance like a pot. At the tip it is slightly open. So this is pot shaped, so that we are calling it as urn shaped or urceolate. So example, bryophyllum. So 3 more types. Altogether 6 different types of corolla are present.